players now. In the red, in the upper right, we have losing that previous game despite the very sexy strategy he attempted to pull off at the start of the game. MC from the Team SK. In the bottom left starting location, we have our Zerg player. It looks like he's got his groove back right now, kind of faking a muted tech, then switching it instead into a quick Broodlord tech. DRG.
Map this time is Antigua Shipyard. And, you know, Antigua Shipyard is a map where Mutalisks can be quite nice. You know, I don't really like roaches as much here, and DRG already showed that, hey, I don't need to stay on that style. What do you think? What are we going to see here?
This map's a little bit different, so I do see him trying to end this before it gets into late game, because Zerg do not generally like late game on this map unless they've severely crippled the Protoss. But, you know, DRG, now that he's showing that he's very capable of altering the way he plays the game, is doing a really good job. I don't know what to expect.
Well, you know, MC, I could definitely see doing a timing attack here. You know, a lot of Protosses do love to just kill those rocks and walk up there. Also, Stargate play, pretty popular on this map. Of course, MC just showed us a really cool Stargate build, but this is not a map where that's going to be so easy. You know, you can't really place a pylon in such a location to warp in sentries to quickly force field the ramp here.
Right, right. Well, now we have a drone coming down here that will become a hatchery very soon. And Protoss, basically the same story, going for the quick Nexus here.
Yeah, I love that MC is going for that Nexus first after scouting quite quickly. He knows that it's pretty safe. Yeah, he's going to get supply blocked again because that's what's in the build order. You know, it doesn't fit all perfectly together. But getting that quick Nexus out really allows him to hit his timings when he wants them. Forge
coming up now. Again, if you guys want builds to copy, early opener builds, I know not all of our players are, you know, intense StarCraft players. These are the proper openers for a map like this. And if you want to copy something and learn how to play the game and grind out some games in the ladder, these are builds that once you master them, you will get wins.
That is very true. In fact, hey, you might win an MLG. Who knows? Maybe a GSL.
You could.
In fact, this is MC has 2 GSL championships and DRG has 1. There's a lot of championships right here, Tasteless. This is a pretty sick game.
It is. It's pretty exciting. We got 2 cannons now coming up here. Also note the pylon placement at the expansion in the upper right. That actually blocks so that the Zerglings can't go around from behind. So this is one of those build orders that really you have to focus on placement.
Yeah, and of course you have to get the 2 cannons with it as well to cover that area. Really nice SimCity by MC there.
Yeah.
Well, that probe is going to get home. And at least the Zerglings and Overlord, notice how he's just sitting there. They want to see if MC is going to make a Zealot and if MC is going to get +1 attack. Those are 2 things that are going to be very important to tell exactly what MC is going to do.
Yeah, you know, early game when you're scouting your opponent, it's essentially, it's like a mystery. You're just trying to find clues. What exactly is he planning to do? Because once you know what he's planning to do, you could try to counter it by making the proper units or structures or upgrades to defeat that. So a lot of times when you get players that are of this level, they'll even throw out a few little bits of false data.
Well, DRG has taken his 3rd base as expected. And I have to say one thing about MC's build, it's kind of interesting. With getting that quick 2nd cannon, he altered it slightly and got 1 gas quickly and 1 gas a little slowly. With Forge Fast Expand, normally you just get both of them at the same time. So just little tweaks that he has in his build here.
DRG taking the 3rd base, and you know, it's going to be one of these macro games. They're both building up, essentially. Both players are kind of tacitly shaking hands and saying, I'll see you in a few minutes, because they both, I think, feel that there's no way they could kill each other early on.
Yeah, definitely not. It's so risky to try to actually kill someone early on, because if they hold it off with these economical type builds, which, you know, they know how to do it, if they do hold that off, the game is basically over for you. So both players favoring to play a longer game here.
All right, Zealot and Stalker out. He's going to be moving forward, trying to chase out these Zerglings.
And the Zerglings and Overlord do get to check that. In fact, he has both gases at his natural expansion. So this is an extremely gas-heavy build, and I'm so excited to see exactly what he wants to do with this. It could be into a Blink Stalker timing attack. We don't have any Robo yet, and no Twilight, so you can't tell quite yet, but with those two gases, we know that he's not going to go, you know, just for the Zealots into an expansion or something.
He might go for DTs, actually.
Oh, that would be interesting.
With that many gases and the Twilight Council coming up like this, and the fact that he's turtled in such a way that, you know, if the DTs fail, that if he's attacked, he should survive it.
You know, DTs do pair well with fast +1 Zealot attacks. You know, the +1 Zealots really do a lot of harassment. They use up a lot of your minerals, and look at that. A very fast expansion with 4 gases and a Twilight. I am actually really wondering how this is going to go. It looks like he's probably just going to get +2 in Blink, and of course a lot of sentries because he did get those 2 gases so quickly. Oh my god, but it is a Dark Shrine. Ooh, MC, this is very interesting. If the DTs don't do any damage, he's going to be hard-pressed against a counter-timing attack of a lot of Speed Roaches.
Right, right. All right, moving forward here, it's hard for the Zerg to really tell what's going on when you have this small army coming out here because they're going to have +1, so that could mean almost anything as far as early aggression goes.
Yeah, the +1 is not clearly indicative of anything. It's just a great upgrade to get in the early game to really minimize what Zerglings can do against you.
All right, the Dark Shrine is about halfway done. Those Lings ran by to see if they could intercept a probe that would possibly hide a pylon somewhere. Yep. But there was no pylon there to be found.
This is such an interesting build we're seeing. Wow, double Roach Warren. That's an interesting build as well.
Wow, that's a sick strat, man. The double Roach Warren build. Wow, we rarely see this one on Artosis.
I think he got that on purpose, you know. And in fact, he did. He's getting speed and burrow movement and burrow all at once.
I'm actually making fun of DRG, but he's a genius, and he's actually going to go for this sick build. Oh, my God.
This is going to be really, 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 really good against MC because MC got those 2 quick gases and has made a huge amount of sentries. He already has 8. Yeah, he has DTs, but an Overseer and a bunch of Roaches with speed and burrow movement? I mean, the force fields aren't going to do anything.
Is this the first time we've seen this build?
From DRG or from
DRG?
I've seen this build maybe like a couple times ever, but the MC build as well, I don't know that I've ever seen this build where you just get a bunch of sentries and some DTs because, I mean, I guess he's relying on the force fields, but the fact that he's getting such quick burrow movement is like a great counter to it.
All right, well, he's pushing the creep out here. If he deflects the DTs perfectly, I think it's going to be very tough for MC to hold off a counterattack.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the DTs, I don't know that they're going to do anything. They're scouting the other main bases. They're just kind of all over the place. He has an Overseer with his Roaches, so DT's not going to do anything defensively here unless somehow he can snipe that Overseer. Then it might buy him some time.
Also getting Hallucination here is MC.
Yeah, very interesting to do that, but with 8 sentries, why not? You can scout a lot with it.
You know what it looks like, actually, Artos? It looks like he just went for the DTs. Oh, hold that thought.
Here he goes, Tasteless. He can use burrow movement if need be, but those force fields are far from perfect, and he just runs through. A lot of force fields going down, and we'll see, is he going to actually use that burrow movement? No, he's just going to go after that expansion, and MC might be in some trouble here. He could definitely lose this Nexus in just a few seconds, and it looks like he definitely will, but can he kill off these Roaches in return?
Gets the Nexus, and unfortunately the probes are force fielded and are not able to get outside. This is very bad for MC. This is almost, it's going to be very difficult for him to recover from this. Now going underneath the force fields.
And look at that, beautifully done. Roaches and Lings coming up from the other side. And DRG's build looks like it's just too good for what MC has done here. He's done a ton of damage already, killed a lot of probes, a Nexus. He's killed all the sentries now, and all that is left is a bunch of +2 Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, I think this game is about to end. The Lings coming up here. The Roaches cornering. The Stalkers, really not an easy place to blink out of. DRG at 165 supply, while MC is at 182 supply.
Yeah, DRG has just done too much damage. More and more units incoming. And GG,
damn.
A crushing defeat.
Wow.
Okay, so, I mean, I like DRG's build. It was really cool, really smart against what he saw. But MC's build, What was that? I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, have you seen that?
I'll start off. I actually have seen it a couple times. There's a player called Rocker does a build similar to that. There's a couple NA players, and it's just if you catch the Zerg off guard, you can get way ahead, right?
Okay.
But it's just trying to do way too much at once.
Yeah.
It's a very greedy build, and if the Zerg doesn't take damage, if they have overseers, they don't let overseers get sniped, it just all falls apart. Yeah,
he was telling me that as long as the overseer can stay alive, it's absurdly hard to hold against that many Roachling, especially with the burrow. Do you see how we got both Roach Warrens? He got that because he went for 4 hatches before Lair Tech, and he knew his upgrades would be a bit slower. So then he compensated for that by getting 2 Roach Warrens to get them both at the same time. And then that push is just really good.
Yeah, that was a totally sick build by DRG. I really liked that, and I'm really surprised MC actually did that build. I mean,
me too.
What do you guys think he's actually thinking doing a build just so risky?
Yeah, I actually think what happened is last game he's like, okay, DRG is willing to go Hive Tech. I'm in trouble. I've got to try something gimmicky. Let's just throw this out there and hope it works.
Yeah, it seems almost like he wanted to use the DTs to just control the other mains so that they couldn't be taken, so that way Zerg was going to be forced into taking his 4th base in the middle. Because we saw the DTs actually branch off.
That's interesting.
Patrolling around because
they did.
I thought he was going to try to go in there and just start killing a bunch of drones, and then maybe hide a pylon outside the main and warp in DTs there, and then it was very passive DT play. So he seemed, and I think that's why he got the sentries too, is he felt that he could play very, very safe with the sentries and just build up a standard 3 base, army with Colossus and maybe some Templars and a couple sentries that he got early on, and then from there he could try to kill the Zerg, forced onto an awkward 4th base. All right, we're going to go take a look at a NOS performance replay and see what was, one of the turning moments, and I think this was it right here when the Roach army came up.
There we go. Yeah, MC makes a big mistake trying to hold the low ground, and Tiga the low ground is so open, there's no way you can force field all of it, especially DRG having that Roach burrow movement. Even if he hit the force field just perfect, wouldn't have happened.
He heads up to where he needed to start the fight up there with some of his army, and then DRG just diffuses the fact that there's this expansion up already.
Exactly. With the build MC is doing, he made a critical mistake of not sniping the Overseer. That's the only way to hold this. You snipe the Overseer, run your army one direction, warp in DTs the other direction. Unfortunately, MC is playing a build I don't think he's quite as familiar with it as he needs to be. He lost a lot of forces on low ground. DRG just way too much, using that Roach burrow movement to great effect. And here comes the surround. All the sentries going to go down when the Stalkers blink back.
Once the sentries are gone, that's your only real defense against this. And now the Lings will flood in.
Yeah, when it comes to pound for pound, Roaches do beat Stalkers. You need those sentries, you need those DTs, you need something to offset the balance.
And if you look, DRG isn't getting plus ranged attack like last time. He's getting melee attack, going to Infestor.
Yeah.
Completely different DRG than we've seen last few days.
Definitely. The DRG who's showing up now is saying, I know how to beat Protoss. I know to counter their micro, to counter this force field, we need Infestors. We need to go for that late game. This game, he's like, well, I'm investing in it. Accidentally killed him too early, but the thought was there.
That's a really good way to put it. I thought it was so genius that he's getting the burrow movement so quickly against this build, but watching that again, he didn't even need that to win that game. He didn't actually need burrow or burrow movement. The game was already decided before then.
Yeah, I do think if MC played it a little bit stronger tactically and just stayed on the high ground, he wouldn't need that burrow movement. If MC split his army in half, he had about 10 sentries. He could have put 5 each side and actually force fielded both the ramps almost forever. But unfortunately, he didn't do. They tried to hold low ground.
Yeah,
that's just not possible.
That was weird when he was just sitting there on the low ground. So
it was very overconfident. I was a little bit surprised as well.
Can MC come back in this series, guys?
Well, we actually want you guys to vote on that here at the Experience Sony smartphone poll. So go ahead and tweet that at us, or you could text as well, up to you. Either MC or DRG, and definitely do that. And I believe, are we ready, Artosis? We are ready, correct? Yes,
they are ready, Tasteless. We're going to go ahead and start it. Thank you, Sheth and Axlav. We'll see, can MC come back, or will DRG just crush him completely?
All right, the game is now loading. MC so far being way outclassed here by DRG. Way outclassed.
Yeah, it's completely opposite